Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, why don't you come out? Yeah, I'm out in the middle.
I could come up there with him. I feel like I'm kind of far away. Does this thing roll or what? Oh, right here? Okay. All right, well, everybody, it's a real pleasure to be here this morning and to swear in our 3 new commissioners for this term. So let's get right to it. Would you all please raise your right hand? I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Minnesota. And that I will discharge faithfully the duties of the office of County Commissioner. In the County of Clay. The State of Minnesota. To the best of my judgment and ability. So help me God. You're sworn in. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Good morning. It's 8:30 and I'm calling the January 7th, 2025 Clay County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'll offer a motion to approve the agenda with an addition of an appointment to the Lakeland Mental Health Center Board.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have employee recognition. First, we have Don Envick and Quinn Jagger.
Good morning. It's on? There we go. Hello. I've already learned that this is way more fun to come recognize acknowledgements than it is to tell you that people are resigning from social services. This is much better, and I have Don to thank for that. Don has accomplished a rather impressive milestone at 35 years of devoted service with social services. She's not just a lead eligibility worker in our financial services unit. She's really a cornerstone of the whole division and a role model for everyone. Don's expertise and knowledge have been instrumental in helping us navigate changes, challenges, and successes over the years. It's really hard to conceptualize what 35 years is, but it represents countless hours of dedication, 72,800 hours to be exact. But it also represents thousands of lives of Clay County citizens that you've helped to improve, and a legacy of compassion and excellence. So on behalf of everyone, thank you for your service and congratulations.
Sheriff and Heather.
So we're here today to recognize Heather, which is something that she totally dislikes right now. Not in her comfort zone at all. But you draw a heck of a crowd. Everybody showed up for you. Heather started with us 15 years ago. She actually started in the Correctional Center, working as a correctional officer. So she was working shift work for a while. And then an opportunity came up to move over to the record side. And she jumped on that opportunity, and she was hired by Linda back then. And another opportunity came up for Heather to go to office manager, and she jumped on that, and she's been an excellent office manager for us. She strives for perfection. You cannot tell her she made a mistake because she will work hours to point out your mistake. She does that often. But we really appreciate having Heather in the office. She's also one of our evidence techs, so that's a very important position, and it shows it to her integrity that she does have. So we appreciate you, Heather. Congratulations on 15. We're looking forward to another 40. We know you have it in you, so thank you and congratulations.
This being my last day as chair, it's nice that we can recognize employees. The employees that are here this morning, I hope you realize that we know that everything we accomplish is because of you. It's not us. You just make us look good. So I appreciate the turnout for Heather, and I see your husband back there. We used to work with him at Moorhead PD. Good to see you guys again. All right, on to what I'm sure everybody's been waiting for.
Citizens to be heard. Citizens to be heard.
Oh, okay. Last day up here, and I need to be coached. Citizens be heard. Do we have any citizens present who wish to address the commission on any item that's not on the agenda? Steve, have we got anybody?
We do not, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Bills and vouchers.
Well, I'm just pumped up, man. I want to get to this.
I'm here to help.
Move for approval of bills and vouchers.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to have the 2025 State of the County address right now. It's my privilege to present the 2024 State and County address, or State of the County address, reflecting our accomplishments and highlighting our plans as we move into 2025. This year, Clay County has continued to grow, adapt, and strengthen services for our community. Allow me to share some key updates from our departments and the people who make it all possible. Clay County projects. Clay County recently unveiled upgraded facilities for the Department of Motor Vehicles and withdrawal management detox facility. The new DMV Center offers enhanced services with expanded hours, streamlined processes for license renewals, registration, and driver's tests, improving the convenience of these services for our residents. Additionally, the county has introduced a state-of-the-art withdrawal management facility, providing specialized care and support for individuals seeking to manage substance withdrawal safely. These developments aim to enhance community health and streamline essential administrative services for citizens, not only in Clay County, but in the region. The Clay County Board of Commissioners are actively involved in the Metro Flood Diversion Authority project, which aims to mitigate flooding risks by constructing an extensive diversion channel to protect the region from high water events. Additionally, Clay County is a member of the Moorhead-Clay County Joint Powers Authority, which facilitates coordinated efforts between property owners, state and local governments to manage the Metro Flood Diversion Authority project. The MCC-JPA plays a crucial role in aligning the goals and activities of Clay County with those of its neighboring counties and state agencies, enhancing the project's effectiveness and ensuring comprehensive flood protection for the entire Red River Valley by the spring of 2027. The Assessor's Office. Our Assessor's Office has worked diligently to meet state requirements and deadlines while implementing legislative changes, including an increase to the homestead exclusion and ag tier homestead limit for the 2024 assessments and 2025 taxes. Staff reviewed 1/5 of all parcels for mass appraisals, utilizing data on construction, sales, and neighborhood trends to ensure a fair and accurate valuation. County Assessor Jill Murray was reappointed for a 4-year term. Auditor Treasurer. The Auditor Treasurer's Office is responsible for the collection of taxes, distribution of revenues, classifying tax assessments, ratings, paying the county's bills, county payroll, and certifying our accounting processes to meet the government standard of acceptable practices. This year was extremely busy, being an election year with a presidential primary. Recorder's Office. The Recorder's Office has streamlined real estate recording process and expanded services, including offering bilingual wedding ceremonies. Their efforts have been crucial in helping residents obtain documentation necessary for Real ID compliance by May 2025. Planning and Zoning. In 2024, the Planning and Zoning approved 203 building permits, 21 use permits, 17 variances, while making significant progress on updating the land development ordinances for 2025. This update reflects Clay County's commitment to a thoughtful and sustainable growth. Human Resources. With 695 employees, Human Resources has been instrumental in sustaining our workforce. From January through November 2024, we welcomed 186 new hires. HR processed 76 citizen concern forms and 997 job applications. This year, with the support of the Clay County Board of Commissioners, we conducted a market study to align our wages with comparable counties and cities, leading to a 3% adjustment in the grid. Additionally, we implemented our second year of online open enrollment for benefits, ensuring efficiency in enrollment. As new legislation like the Minnesota Earned Sick and Save Time and Paid Leave take effect, HR remains focused on compliance and employee support. Veteran Services. Veteran Services has had another impactful year, attending national trainings and hosting outreach events to connect with more veterans. Clay County remains a leader with 0 identified homeless veterans and continues in collaborating with veterans courts and local organizations. Kurt Cannon was reappointed to another 4-year term. A special thank you to Bonnie Christofferson for her 13 years of service, and a warm welcome to Kim Haar, an Air Force retiree joining us from the Fargo VA. Probation and Parole. Clay County continues to partner with the Minnesota Department of Corrections. Our probation and parole department served over 1,054 adults, 81 juveniles in 2024, in addition to launching a DWI court to complement our drug court. Programs like the Juvenile Offender Restitution Program, the Victim Impact Panels, continue to promote accountability and education. We are also rolling out a gender-responsive cognitive behavior therapy program targeting female pathways into the justice system, demonstrating our commitment to evidence-based practices in public safety. We would like to thank Janelle Cheney for her partnership and innovative thinking throughout the years. Sheriff's Office and Emergency Management. In 2024, the Sheriff's Office responded to significant incidents like the Hawley Elevator and Terracon precast fires, showcasing exceptional collaboration with our emergency partners. We also introduced body-worn cameras into the correctional facility to enhance transparency and mitigate liability. New hires included 2 additional deputies paid for through state of Minnesota public safety funding and our first community service officer. This has strengthened our team. Emergency management led critical updates in response plans, organized training sessions, and conducted tabletop exercises to improve readiness for emergencies. Our correction facility. The Clay County Correction Facility has faced another extremely busy year. Booking in over 3,200 individuals, A significant area of concern remains the housing of committed mentally ill individuals. The Clay County River Project addresses these issues through coordinated effort with mental health practitioners in a designated area in the facility. Personnel continue to work with community providers to enhance services provided in-house in hopes of reducing recidivism. The 48-hour rule remains suspended until June 30th, 2025. Like many other Minnesota counties, Clay County is pressured to house individuals not suited for the jail environment. The sheriff and chief deputy continue to advocate for solutions through discussion with the Minnesota Sheriff's Association and the Minnesota State Bar Association. Social services. Social services made significant strides in family reunification with successful adoptions and improved procedures for relative placement. Recruitment for family child care and foster care providers remains a priority. In health and disability services, the implementation of MnChoice's revision software is addressing initial challenges to ensure accuracy in assessing eligibility. The launch of the CFSS program demonstrates a commitment to improving compliance and service delivery. The mental health and substance use disorder services are tackling urgent needs, including advocating for more residential mental health beds for children and managing comprehensive assessments for the individuals with substance use disorder. I would also like to give a special thank you to Rhonda Porter for over 30 years of leadership and excellent service. And we're pleased to welcome Quinn Jagger as our new Social Services Director. Public health. The public health program in the county includes a variety of services across multiple areas. Family health provides home visits to mothers, babies, and toddlers, school nursing for Clay County school districts, and consultation for child care centers. WIC offers nutritional services to an average of 1,450 women, infants, and children monthly, promoting breastfeeding and managing formula shortages. Clinical services include distributing 139 car seats, providing 33 COVID and 329 other vaccines, 31 drug screenings, and 57 tuberculosis medication managements. Adult health services offer case management for over 1,200 clients through 17 nurses, 2 social workers, and 3 case aides. Health promotion includes community grants targeting alcohol, marijuana, and vape production, a suicide prevention program in local schools, and worksite wellness partnerships. Environmental health oversees inspections of licensed establishments and septic systems across Clay, Wilkin, and Otter Tail County. Emergency preparedness focuses on planning for infectious diseases, severe weather, biological threats, mass casualties, and while collaborating with various community partners. The County Attorney's Office. The County Attorney's Office continues to promote justice, public safety, and effective governance in 2024. The office opened over 1,900 cases across various legal issues, including traffic violations, misdemeanors, property crimes, and serious personal crimes such as burglary, robbery, assaults, and murder. It collaborates with the courts to operate the Clay County Drug Court, Clay County Veterans Treatment Court, and plans to introduce a DWI court in 2025. Additionally, the office works with social services on child in need of protection services, or CHIPS cases, commitment cases for mental health issues, and guardianships and conservatorships for aging citizens. The Civil Division manages numerous juvenile cases within the court system, and the Victim Services Office assisted over 800 victims with a range of services, including affidavits of loss and victim impact statements. The office also collaborates with all other Clay County departments on civil matters, such as contract preparation, planning and zoning, election issues, and tax court matters. The West Central Regional Juvenile Center. The WCRJC continues to provide care and treatment for at-risk youth in both the secure and non-secure facilities. By bringing in specialized professionals and engaging in state initiatives, WCRJC remains a vital resource for not only the region, but the entire state of Minnesota. Our technology department. The county made significant strides in security improvements, introducing a new cybersecurity analyst position to reduce risks and maintain compliance for various departments. A major software acquisition of a popular server management program affecting 85% of the world presented challenges, forcing the department to decide between paying additional fees or moving to a new platform. Additionally, a redundant internet connection was introduced to enhance business continuity, allowing access to Microsoft 365 products and isolating guest internet traffic in case the state of Minnesota connection goes offline. The technology department also played a large part in planning and transition of the new withdrawal management and detox facility. GIS and Communications Department. The GIS and Communications Department welcomed the integration of a communications coordinator, which consolidated the communication staff into a cohesive team. They completed the redesign of the Clay County website, making it more user-friendly and ensured compliance with disability standards. GIS staff managed the completion of the blue address number sign replacement across the county, replacing over 4,000 signs, and collected a new high-resolution aerial image last spring, which will soon be visible on improved online maps. They also made enhancements to the facilities management system, including lease information, IT equipment, and the infrastructure of new buildings. GIS and communication staff are well prepared to support the needs of Clay County in 2025. Our Highway Department. The Highway Department had a busy and productive 2024, marked by diverse weather challenges, significant projects, and staffing transitions. Despite a winter with minimal snow, road maintenance remained active due to rain and sleet. Spring brought favorable conditions, allowing for extensive crack filling and limited flooding. Summer was particularly eventful with major projects, including the second phase of a mill and overlay on CSAW 26, paving CSAW 1 after its 2022 regrading, and initiating the 3-year 11th Street Underpass project in partnership with MnDOT and the City of Moorhead. Additionally, the department secured funding for a roundabout at CSAW 5212, which provides safer driving conditions for our citizens. The fall saw the retirement of 5 full-time employees, with nearly all positions filled and new staff training underway. Looking forward, the department is preparing for an equally productive 2025 with exciting new initiatives. Solid waste. The Solid Waste Department has made significant updates and adaptations over the past year, with cost savings and excellent public service as key goals. The department has continued its partnership with Becker County, sharing load hauling, which has resulted in an estimated savings of $50,000. A new mattress recycling process has been implemented, collecting and hauling mattresses to Becker County for deconstruction, saving landfill space and recycling materials. Additionally, the department has begun removing Freon from appliances, allowing for revenue from recycled metal and saving approximately $30 per appliance. Moving forward, the Solid Waste Department remains committed to evaluating department needs and identifying opportunities for budget reduction, all while providing excellent customer service. The Facilities Department. From completing 1,500 maintenance requests to facilitating major relocations like the DMV and the withdrawal management detox operation, the Facilities Department has ensured the county's infrastructure remains functional and welcoming. Snow removal, groundskeeping, and custodial work continue to provide a safe and clean environment for employees and residents. Our legislative priorities. The Clay County Board of Commissioners work closely with the Association of Minnesota Counties in advocating for the benefit of the entire state of Minnesota. By participating in AMC's activities, the Commission ensures that Clay County's interests are represented at a state level. Collaborating on shared priorities and leveraging collective influence to shape policies that impact all counties. In 2025, Clay County identified 3 legislative priorities, including addressing 911 fees to ensure adequate funding for emergency services, advocating for the establishment of a psychiatric residential treatment facility in Clay County to improve access to mental health care in the Northwest region and the state of Minnesota, and securing funding for the FM area diversion project to alleviate flood risks in the region. These priorities reflect Clay County's commitment to addressing critical issues that affect the well-being and safety of its residents while contributing to the overall resilience and development of the state. Elections. Commissioner Paul Krabenoff, District 1, David Ebinger, District 5, won re-election bids for a 4-year term. Commissioner Ezra Bear won the election for District 2 and for a 4-year term. Sorry. I look forward to continue the great work with the Commission on behalf of our citizens. Commissioner Bear will take the place of retiring Commissioner Frank Gross. A special thank you to Commissioner Gross for his 12 years of dedicated service. His leadership, teamwork, and common sense approach have been invaluable to our county. We wish him all the best in his retirement and thank him for his many contributions. Finance and budget. The Clay County Board of Commissioners continue to support a 2-year tax abatement program for residential new construction, which involves a cooperation of the cities and school districts. The tax abatement program, which was started in 2012, has led to new home construction, providing competitive incentives for citizens to build and reside in Clay County. The program has helped considerably with our county's continued growth. The Minnesota State Auditor presented its audit findings to the County Board on November 19th in reference to the year ending December 31st, 2023. In the issuance of the audit report, State Auditor had issued an unqualified opinion of the county's financial statement. The unqualified opinion confirms that Clay County's financial records or statements conform to the applicable accounting standards. The County Board adopted the annual operating budget and tax levy for the year 2025 on December 17, 2024. The total expense for 2025 are estimated to be $123,990,095. The revenue source necessary to cover these expenses include $44,866,746 in a property tax levy, state aid, numerous grants, services, and utilization of fund balance. Clay County witnessed a net growth in new construction of 1.15%, leading to a net levy increase of 4.45% for 2025. As we close another year of service to our citizens, I want to thank our dedicated employees, my fellow elected officials, and the residents of Clay County for their trust and partnership. Together, we have navigated challenges and achieved milestones that set a strong foundation for the future. We look forward to continuing to work collectively to make Clay County a vibrant, inclusive, and thriving community for all. Please feel free to contact any of the county commissioners or county administration at any time if you'd like to share your feedback or suggestions. Thank you, and best wishes for a wonderful 2025. I will now open the floor for nomination for chair.
Mr. Chair, I'll offer a motion to appoint Commissioner Campbell as chair for 2025.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Commissioner Campbell. You are now the chair.
Thank you, thank you. I'm looking forward to this job. At this point in time, I would be looking for nominations for vice chair.
I'll make a motion to nominate Ginny Mojo for vice chair.
And I will second it.
Okay, we have a nomination for Commissioner Mojo and a second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Third and final call. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion carried. Congratulations, Commissioner Mojo. At this point in time, we're going to take a 5-minute break. We're going to do a little bit of readjusting here. We'll get back as quickly as possible. I know there's some of you who are waiting for things on our agenda, so 5 minutes. All right, good morning, everybody. We'll reconvene this morning's meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I might briefly, before we get on to the business of the day, I just want to extend a wish of gratitude to Commissioner Ebinger for his leadership as chair this past year, and to you as well for your leadership as vice chair. I know those positions come with extra time and commitment, and so you've led us well over the last year, and I appreciate your work.
Thank you. It's kind of like our relationship with our employees. It's easy to lead people who are as functional and work as hard as you guys do. I'm just trying to keep up. But it's been a fun year.
Thank you. All right, with that, I'd like to just take a minute to welcome our new commissioner, Commissioner Ezra Bear from District 2. And Ezra, I know your folks in District 2 probably know you well from your going through the campaign, but I think a lot of the other county may not know you as well, and maybe if you would like to spend a minute or so to just tell everybody who you are.
Yeah. If you do not know who I am, my name is Ezra Bear. I've been a lifelong Clay County resident my entire life. I reside in Goose Prairie Township, just west of Hitterdal. I am the owner and operator of a wean to finish hog farm. I've been married to my wife Katie for 12 years, and we have 5 beautiful children. I was on the Goose Prairie Township Board as a supervisor for the last 8 years, and I also sat on the Clay County Board of Adjustment and Planning Commission for the last 6. In the last 2, I was the chairman. I'm looking forward to starting this new position. Let me scroll down here. I'm looking forward to starting this new position and working with so many different people, and I will serve the people of Clay County with respect, integrity, and with honesty. Thank you very much.
All right, well, welcome. All right, with that, we'll move on to our next agenda item, and that is item number 4 on the agenda, and that is to establish the Commissioners' meeting schedule for 2025.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Before you, for your consideration, is the schedule for 2025. As we have in past years, our anticipation is that we will have board meetings every Tuesday morning, except for the 5th Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., with a couple of exceptions. On Tuesday, June 17th, we will have our board meeting at 5 p.m., which will be followed by the Board of Appeals and Equalization at 6:30. This would be up for your consideration. November 11th is a Tuesday, an observation of Veterans Day. We will be closed, and so it would be up to the board of whether they would have no board meeting or they would shift that meeting to either Monday or Tuesday. On Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, we'll have our board meeting at 5 p.m., followed by Truth and Taxation at 6. And then within our schedule, we would have no board meeting on Tuesday, December 9th, due to the AMC Annual Conference. That I'd yield for any questions.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, I have one question. Would it be feasible or possible to have another meeting at the Clay County Fair? I just to get out there in front of people a little bit more.
Commissioner Bear and members, I believe there is a statute that requires us to hold it in the county seat. Is that,
I will look at
Is that
that.
an old
I do
one,
know
or-
there's several counties in Minnesota that will have a board meeting during their fair, but I don't know if they are the county seat where the fairgrounds is in, so I can certainly look at that.
yeah, certainly that might be a good idea to do that, but I just want to make sure that we would follow statute on it.
And following that requirement, would it maybe make sense to approve the recommended schedule for the meetings with the ability for staff to investigate that second week in July meeting, if it's possible? If it's not possible to have a county board meeting, I know we've increased our presence with the county government day, so maybe having some sort of meeting, maybe it's not a business meeting of the board, but something official, because I do appreciate what Commissioner Bear is saying, increasing our visibility throughout the entire county is important.
You know, I know, if nothing else, there's always the ability that we could have a publicized work group. Sure. Where no action is taken, but at least you can be there and it would allow for others. So in a worst-case scenario, we could always do that, so. But maybe, Commissioner Mojo, or Commissioner Ebinger, do you have a comment?
Yeah, but I think a good idea would be, and this works so well when we meet with the townships, but we could have a town hall type of meeting. Tell people we're gonna be there, if they have concerns or they have questions, whatever. We could be there and possibly even have some of the staff there. I know certainly our highway department, sheriff's department would wanna be there. But we could work something out.
All right, so we need to establish our calendar, so what's,
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll offer a motion to approve the proposed calendar for the 2025 board meetings with the addition of a flexibility for staff to investigate the July date of the fair.
I will second that.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Okay, we will move on to item number 5, request approval for resolutions 2025-1 through 4 for the designation of our newspapers and corresponding memorandum of understandings. The first motion would be to approve resolution 2025-1 designating the Extra as the official county newspaper.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-1.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And I might add for the public, these different motions that we're doing today on an annual basis are rotating. So every year that rotates around to different newspapers, so. With that in mind, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. The next one is a motion to approve Resolution 2025-2, designating the Clay County Union for printing notice of real property taxes and penalties for 2025.
I would move for the approval of 2025-02.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. We'll move into motion to approve Resolution 2025-03, designating the Barnesville Record Review for first printing of the Clay County financial statement.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve 2025-3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. The next item, motion to approve Resolution 2025-04, designate the Holly Herald for second printing of the Clay County financial statement for 2025.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Resolution 2025-04.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. All right. And those, Steve, those included the memorandums, right? That's part of that?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, so the next item that we have is to enter into MOU with Cass County, North Dakota to board inmates at the Clay County Correctional Facility. And we have Sheriff Empting and Sheriff Johnner from Cass County. Welcome, Sheriff.
Thank you. Good morning.
And good morning.
Morning.
Sheriff, I'll let you lead the way.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Thanks for having us here this morning. If I could just start off with a congratulations to Commissioner Krabanoff, Commissioner Ebinger on your reelection, and also Commissioner Bear on your election bid. I look forward to working with everybody, and also to our new chair and vice chair. So very, very much so look forward to working with everybody here again. We're here today to ask to enter in an MOU with Cass County to board Cass County inmates at our facility. Sheriff Johnner contacted me a few weeks ago asking if we had room to board some of their inmates, if he was able to get a variance through the North Dakota DOCR. Shortly thereafter, he had indicated that he was able to get that variance, and we started working on this MOU. This MOU has been reviewed by our county attorney, and he had just a couple suggestions that we made, and he reviewed it, and it has been okayed. Sheriff Johnner's reviewed it, and it looked good to him, and that's where we are here today. And also present, I should mention, is Cass County Commissioner Flacco as well.
Sheriff Johnner.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. So I would add to the congratulations that Sheriff Empting has already mentioned to you. A number of you changed positions. Congratulations on the chair, vice chair, and the reelection. And I'm certainly happy this morning to be here. I, as Sheriff Empting mentioned, contacted him a few weeks ago and asked him if it would be possible to bring some inmates over here. As you guys, I'm sure, have monitored in the media, we've been struggling on the Cass County side. We over the last 3 years, it's been a game of checkers for our staff, our leadership staff, and moving people around. Currently, we have approximately anywhere from 15 to 25 on average weekly inmates housed at different facilities within North Dakota. We have approximately 20 inmates on our community supervision unit, which is a unit where we can monitor people by ankle monitoring so they don't come to our facility. They have light charges, of course. They're not a public safety risk to our community. And that's given us some room. But really, it's a struggle every day. It's been hard on local law enforcement. Really kind of a morale killer as they make arrests sometimes and they can't bring people into jail to help keep our community safe. So, of course, we make those determinations based on public safety, and if we feel that the person isn't a risk to society, then we're sometimes having to release those individuals. But I approached our commissioners back in 2021 and explained the need for additional spacing at our facility because we were seeing a drastic increase in the amount of people that were coming in. And I was fortunate enough with my partnership with our commissioners, and I appreciate their collaboration to build a new pod, but we're not going to take control of that until sometime in May or June. So really, we're just trying to find space wherever we can. And as you guys know, the state line or the river doesn't stop criminal activity from both of our communities. So I think it is important that we collaborate. I appreciate Sheriff Empting's partnership, his friendship. He's been excellent to work with, a great partner with our agency, along with Chief Deputy Martin, who's sitting in the back there. I know that I can call them and work on issues on a regular basis, and that's been important to our relationship and our friendship. So the only other thing that I would mention, it'd be kind of nice in the MOU if I got 100 beds, but I know that's not possible. But no, I appreciate the collaboration with the board, with you guys, and it definitely shows your dedication to public safety in our communities.
I suppose we could just annex Cass County and then we'd.
Yeah, there you go. But whether it's been this collaboration or the juvenile detention center, we've appreciated that partnership with you guys, and so we're just very appreciative. So
I'm glad you brought that up, and I want, it's advantageous when we can have one of our fellow commissioners from the other side here as well, with Commissioner Flacco. And I just want to do a shout out to former commissioners Sherling and Peterson too. They were really involved with the juvenile
Contract.
partnership contract that we got with Cass County. And that, of course, required some legal maneuvering too, that required both states to get involved and approve that. So my one question would have been on the variance. Is that like a temporary thing, or is that something that can just be ongoing?
Sure, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, it will be ongoing, obviously, because we're housing people across state. There has to be some, we had to do some research on procedures, different housing techniques, anything from as much as down to how much an inmate is let out every day out of their cells to make sure that it coincides with what North Dakota requires through the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So that has been some of the limitations in the past with being able to house people over here. But of course, being able to do that really helps us, because the people that I have housed at the different counties in North Dakota are people that have been sentenced and they don't have medical issues, which is a small percentage, because if we have inmates with medical issues, typically those counties don't want to take those individuals because, and I don't blame them, because they have to run them up to the hospital, and sometimes they don't have staffing to do that. And then as you guys know, we're really restricted by pretrial. A number of our inmates are pretrial and they still have court, and so housing people, like, for example, in McKenzie County, which is across a state in North Dakota, causes us to use a number of resources to transport those individuals back and forth to court. So we're able to, with partnering with you guys, transport those individuals easier, and so we can now start housing some people that are pre-trial over here. So that helps us a lot.
Well, before the, we kind of know what you're going through. At one point in time, we had the same issue where we did not have the space, and we were having to send people out of Clay County at an extreme high expense. And thanks to our voters and their approval of it, we built a new facility. And this just seems to me, we joined together in our dispatch, we joined together in our regional juvenile center, and this just makes all the sense in the world. As long as we can accommodate, and the sheriff has the space and everything works out, I just think this is a good move. Commissioner Ebinger.
I want to thank both of you. One of the key moments in my career in Moorhead was when I realized how important the partnerships are and how we have to work to keep them. And your predecessor, Paul Laney, was a great friend of mine, Dave Todd. Arlen Rasmussen, we just had good people who kept that partnership together. And I appreciate the communication and the support that you're giving each other on this. And having said that, I would like to make a motion that we enter into an MOU with Cass County to board inmates from in the Clay County Correctional Facility.
A second.
All right, and does that include then the dollar amounts on a per diem basis that is in the memo?
Yeah, as just, and with it complies with the MOU as presented to us today.
All right. Okay, yeah, Ezra.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for Sheriff Empting. The per diem rate covers the daily cost of housing them, correct?
It's close to the daily cost of housing them, yes. And what we are going to do is we're going to start with 10 inmates and see how that works, and work our way up to more. Hopefully we can figure that out right away so we can help you out over there, but that's what we're going to do. But it's close to it.
I have one follow-up question. How much room do we have over there at the jail as of now?
As of yesterday, we were at 103. We can go up to 150 without hiring any additional staff. If we go over 150, we'd have to hire additional staff, so we do have the space for it.
All right.
Maybe in a follow-up and to Commissioner Bear's questions, if we were to go, you're going to start with 10 and maybe move up. If we were to get to the point where we might exceed that 150 number, then we start getting into other additional costs for the county. Would we be open then to being able to look at then maybe having to modify that per diem rate if we're having to, for example, add staff? Because we're bound by statute too, or by the Department of Corrections for the number of staff to pay to inmates, and I'm sure you have something similar, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, we're just grateful for any beds that we can get, so the 10 helps us out. If it's a little bit more than that, I think we're continually on a day-to-day basis trying to strategize on where we can find additional spacing, so this is just one of those pieces. But we're also exploring some other things as well. But yeah, I think I can't speak for the commission as far as the approval of any of additional per diems, but most certainly I think that they'd be willing to work with whatever we needed to do.
I think the only concern would be, and it goes to Commissioner Bear's question, is that we're at least recouping our costs.
Yeah, most certainly. We're not trying to
Right.
take advantage of a situation. We're just grateful for the extra space. I'm assuming commissioners would feel the same way.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to point out that our action today is not restrictive to only 10. It allows the sheriffs to have the flexibility to figure out whatever works there. A comment as a follow-up to your issue about when we were in the process of building our own correctional facility, we were spending $1 million a year needing to house out of county, so we certainly understand that difficult pinch. I'm really encouraged by the opportunity to keep these inmates closer to their support structures if they have them, and they're, I think it's a good situation for both of us in terms of being close to the healthcare facilities and trials and whatnot. So I talk frequently at the state level about how the river does not define us, as you pointed out, Sheriff. It really is something where other cities throughout Minnesota are shocked at the collaboration between North Dakota and Minnesota entities, and it just speaks to the strength of all of our relationships between the sheriff's office, police departments, commissions, city councils. And I think this is a great way to address an issue for all of our regions, so thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. All right.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Yep. Commissioner Flacco, thank you for coming today. All right, so we'll now move on to item number 7, the request approval to hire a maintenance worker, our highway department. Good morning, Justin.
Good morning. Yes, so the first item I have is approval to hire an additional maintenance worker. So through the 2025 budget cycle, an additional maintenance worker was a new request that I had, and it was approved throughout the budget. So what this does is this additional maintenance worker kind of gives the highway department the ability to cover more area. So like during a snow event, it will allow the road foreman and maintenance supervisor to split the county, so it's not just one person looking over everything. And I do believe that this will provide a higher level of service, and it will not require any additional equipment.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of a maintenance worker, as this is a 2025 budgeted item.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I have one question.
Yes, Mr. Bear.
Do you need, is there a part-time guy looking at taking that job, or
Not currently, no.
so you won't need backfill for part-time?
We only backfill if, say, somebody's retiring, and I know like a maintenance worker is gonna step up
Okay.
to a blade operator, so there's nobody currently employed that would be eligible to take this position.
Right. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Next, Justin, we have the Resolution 2025-05 for the sponsoring agency for the SRTS Grant.
Yes, so the SRTS is a Safe Routes to School grant offered through MnDOT. So the city of Dilworth is requesting sponsorship as they are not a state aid city, and it is required through MnDOT. If selected, the grant can be up to $1 million. Financially, it doesn't have any impact to the county if they are selected. It's just some stuff staff-wise that we'd have to do to help them out, which we've done many different times.
Any questions?
Mr. Chair, the Safe Routes to School program is really something that has benefited Clay County and other areas greatly. It's something that really helps out other entities, as you talked about. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-5.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And with that, as a sponsoring agency, any local share is the responsibility of,
Dilworth.
for
Of
example, in
Dilworth.
this case, it would be Dilworth, right?
That's correct.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. We will move on to the next item, Justin, and that is the approval to purchase 2 tractors.
Yes, so I'm seeking approval to purchase 2 John Deere tractors from RDO Equipment in Moorhead. So previously, we had been on a 7-year rotation with tractors. These current ones, we did push out to 10 years with the prices of equipment going crazy. I have attached the summary of the pricing, which includes trades and the internal service funds available. So the internal service fund is fully funded. Now, there is a slight price difference between the 2 tractors, only because one has a front PTO and one has a front loader is the only difference there. And I guess these tractors do get used year-round, whether it be for mowing, and then we do put snow blowers on the front of them. We will use the one with the loader to help load salt sand. Guess any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
The first tractor you have here on bid, that would be the one with the front PTO, correct?
Correct.
That's what I figured.
All right, and this did go through highway tracking and was recommended from a highway tracking committee to move forward with the purchase. So, what is the board's wishes?
I will make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 tractors from RDO.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Bear, does that reflect the 230,000, 287.32, and 227,859.36?
That is correct.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried, and we have another one for Justin, and this is the approval of purchase pickup for the highway department.
Yeah, so this is one that we worked, this one took a long time just because we did work through both leasing and purchasing. So I am requesting approval to purchase this pickup from Nelson Auto Center. So through the whole lease process, we found out that a 3-year lease was only $2,000 less than the outright purchase of this vehicle through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. So I'm seeking approval to purchase this vehicle as at the end of 3 years, we would have the full equity in the vehicle, and I do think it's a better deal.
All right, and again, once again, I want to just point out that this was brought before Highway Tracking Committee with recommendation for approval.
I would move to approve the purchase of the pickup from Nelson Auto Center for $42,168.71.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Before we go into our committee assignments, I think we'll take that agenda addition real quickly here, and again, this is a motion, or would be to appoint Noel Harden. Am I saying that correctly?
Yep.
To Lakeland Mental Health. Commissioner Mojo, do you want to?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, I serve on the Lakeland Mental Health Center Board. That board is comprised of 2 members from each of the partnering counties, one being a county commissioner and the other being a citizen who has some sort of qualifying relevant experience to also serve in that capacity. Today, you are being asked to fulfill a term for commissioner that had served on there for a long time. Mike McCarthy is no longer serving in that capacity, and so it has been sitting open for over a year. I'm really excited that Noelle Harden she currently works in the capacity at the University of Minnesota Extension. The university has done some really great work that I felt was really an overlap with the work that Lakeland Mental Health Center does, and so I'm asking you today to approve the appointment of Noelle Harden to the Lakeland Mental Health Center board for a period of 3 years. And I can stand for any questions if wanted. I do apologize for this being an agenda addition. I'd been talking to Noel over the course of the last 6 weeks, and it just, with timing, this worked out the best.
And we do have an attachment with the letter of interest that Noel has submitted, so. Yes, Commissioner Kravinoff.
Yes, I'll just make a comment to back what Commissioner Mojo is saying in regard to Noel Hardin's background and work, how it, I've watched her work on a couple other committees for the last couple of years, and she is well versed in areas of public policy and also just studies the work that she has to do, and I think it's a great appointment to have if we so choose. And with that, I'll second the motion.
Why'd you make the motion?
You.
Oh, I thought you did. All right. I'll make a motion then to approve the appointment of Noel Hardin to the Lakeland Mental Health Board of Directors for a 3-year term.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I assume she's not here or online?
That's correct, Commissioner.
All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Thank you for your service and volunteering for service. All right, the next item we have is the approval of the Clay County Board of Commissioners assignments for 2025. As you know, last week we spent some time discussing changes, and I believe Jackie and Stephen have done their job in trying to redo those. So Steve, do you want to
Yeah,
run through this?
thank you, Mr. Chair. You hit it on the head. We made the attempt to take all the different discussions that we had and make the changes on this sheet. Again, in the event from our discussion, if we miss something, if you would like to bring that forward, we'll make sure that we get that adjusted moving forward.
All right, maybe I'm just going to go around. I'll start to my right with Paul. Paul, have you had a chance to review?
Yeah, and everything looks fine to me.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Mojo?
I believe this under mine is reflective of the conversations that we had last week as well. I guess I'm not seeing anything to change.
Very good. Commissioner Bear?
Everything looks good to me.
All right. Commissioner Ebinger?
Looks correct.
All right, so, and from my standpoint too, I think everything kind of seems to be as we had discussed. And obviously, as the course of the year goes on, if any of us end up with conflicting schedules and something needs to be changed, we can certainly always have the ability to modify these assignments as the year goes on, so. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the 2025 committee assignments with per diem.
So move.
You have a motion, is there a second?
Sorry about this.
Well, there's a
I'll
motion.
second.
Okay.
That's fine.
There, okay.
Go ahead. I'll
All right,
second.
now you have a comment?
I see one line that I had missed that no longer exists. If we need to amend, it might as well.
Which one is that?
It's going to be the Infrastructure Resilient Advisory Task Force that no longer exists. I missed that earlier. Is it about halfway down?
It's after the historical society.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, because last time you said it was on yours twice, wasn't it, or something? Listed
Yeah,
twice?
yeah.
And now, okay.
It just doesn't even exist.
All right, so if the board's okay with the modification of that, just removing that one, is that, who made the motion? Are you okay with that? And you made the second, so you're okay with that change?
Yeah. It's just something that I was offered to do for AMC, and I took it up, and that project's over.
All right, very good. All right, anything else? All right, seeing no other discussion, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. The committee assignments are established for 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. All right, and then lastly, for today, we will go through our committee reports, and I'm going to start, and I know, Ezra, you haven't really had a chance to partake in any committees, but we were glad to see you able to attend in December the AMC conference as a newly elected, and I don't know if you haven't had any opportunity to talk about that, what you felt your experiences were with that, or?
Yeah, so we attended that in December 8th, I believe, around there. I thought it was a very good conference, took in a lot of stuff, and appreciate you guys inviting me along to take that in.
Very good. So next week you'll have some reports together. All right. All right, Commissioner Ebinger.
I've talked enough. I had nothing last week, but practiced the state of the county, and so we move on.
Very good. All right. Commissioner Krabenoff.
Yes. On Thursday, January 2nd, we had a meeting of the Clay County Intergovernmental Committee. It was a final review of the upcoming intergovernmental retreat that will be on January 31st, I believe. And we also talked about other legislative priorities for the upcoming session. And the fact at that, at that retreat, we will have our representatives and senators to our area present, and they'll be doing a conversation with the group for questions to ask. And I think one of the things that was brought up, and this kind of came from the school board people, just being mindful that some of the things locally need some flexibility and rather than just strict mandates. And I think there are comments being made, maybe as this group, is we're aware of these things, like us when we're down at the Capitol or when we see our legislators locally. Just making them aware of some of the needs we need locally that may not exist statewide, and making sure we have a little more flexibility to do our work and be successful in doing that. The last part of the meeting was going to be the next member entity, the rotation for 2025, and that will move from, we had it for the last year in Clay County, and now it'll move on to the city of Dilworth, Glen and Felton schools. And next meeting will be in March. After that meeting in the afternoon, I had the first board meeting of the year for the Clay SWCD board. They did their oath of office. They had 3 new officers that were elected. Brady Fughley, up north of Holly area. Richard Meinholt was reelected, and he's in the Felton area. Joe Hildebrand, also out in that Holly area, a little bit to the north side, was reelected. They did not, their quorum was minimal. There were 3 of 5 there, so there were a couple of things that they wanted to extend forward for 1 month, and that was, number one, their election officers, which then they'll do in February, as well as their time and meeting for the remainder of 2025. Thinking about moving the meeting, which has been the second Thursday of the month at 3, and moving that to 8 in the morning on that same second Thursday. Other than that, they did first-year items, much like we did here this morning. They still are trying to fill a vacancy for a district technician. Their application period is running through January, and hopefully to get some qualified people. Their main goal within the legislative session is trying to, again, working along with their SWCD aid. Last year, they had received $15 million, but in their approval from legislature, it falls down to 12 million the following year. So they'll be lobbying hard to see if they can get that $3 million back, which they utilize very, very well, and they need those funds. I think outside of that, I think that covers that meeting pretty well. And then on Friday, we had, for the PRTF, we had another Teams meeting. Representative Keeler was not in attendance on that one, but Senator Kupek was. And it was a really good meeting, I thought. One chance to talk just directly to Senator Kupek. The main part of that meeting was how we will move forward and looking at co-authors for the bill, who will be in the important people to be leading this in the Senate as we move forward. Also, as part of that will be a presentation that myself and Steve will be going down to the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council, and they have their quarterly meeting, I believe it is, at Treasure Island Casino down there. And we're going to go down and give a presentation about our need of the psychiatric residential treatment facility, the grounds for the reason of why we need it, why it's really beneficial to have it here in Clay County. And we are going to be asking them to consider signing a resolution for us to move forward in support with us in having the Indian Affairs Council involved. And then after that, I had a meeting with Quinn Jager in regard to the collaborative. We did last month come up with a entity that will be being our collaborative coordinator, and that is Reach out of Holly. And we did have it signed, their coordinator contract signed, and be moving forward. I think they're really going to step it up to another level. One of the people involved, Peggy, who is part of this team, has been a coordinator before for 10 years. So we're coming in with some experience, and I think they're going to do some really good things for that program. With that, that's my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Mojo.
Thank you. Last week, we had a PRTF collaboration meeting with our architect and Gertz and staff as we continue to work forward in dialing the proposal in before legislative session. Yesterday, I attended the MetroCog Executive Committee meeting. We talked about the status of the 2050 MTP. There's some additional requirements that Federal Highway and North Dakota DOT is requiring. And then we talked about various upcoming items for 2025 as we move forward, and then agency updates from the director. A little bit of an issue getting a quorum at the beginning as with new elections coming on. Not everyone's aware of the new rotation quite yet, so we were a little short for a while. And then also attended the PRTF juvenile space pre-design study yesterday, covering a lot of bases in regards to the project narrative that we're going to be utilizing at the Capitol, and then agency and organizational planning. We talked about the project financial scope. I can tell you that we're continuing to dial this thing in as close as we need to, understanding, I think, for the public that when you get state funds, there's some additional requirements that we've incorporated in our other facilities. They're called B3 components, and they can really shift the scope of what that price is quite broadly. And so as we talk a little bit about components that we want to make sure are part of that, knowing that those B3 components can really change what that bottom line is drastically. And then the only other item, we don't need to talk about it very long, I just want for the clarification, there was an article in the Fargo Forum last week that talked about our tobacco ordinance that we covered on the 17th that stated there will be a April 1st enforcement date. My understanding is this entire board has not voted on a date at this point, correct?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Mojo, that is correct. In talking with Mr. Melton, because there was nothing no date specifically in that, in the agreement. The ordinance actually went into effect the day that you guys made the agreement. As far as the rollout or implementation of that, the board also, you're correct, did not make any of those notifications that you talked about from the paper.
So in the future, as we move forward with these pieces, I've served on a lot of ordinance subcommittees with Commissioner Campbell in regards to land use. I will say that there's a bit of frustration there because if it was the intention that there would be a soft rollout of a arbitrary date, I feel it's a bit of an in-service to our county businesses to not have had that as part of the dialogue and then see something in the paper. And so I would hope that we can maybe do better as we move forward with those pieces. But as stated, when something comes out in the paper that the county board has not acted on, that puts us in a difficult position, specifically since I did have 2 businesses reach out to me on that. So I guess it's just maybe further comment we can have later, but just from the one commissioner's perspective. And that concludes my reports, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, last week on January 2nd, I also attended, along with Commissioner Krabanoff, the Clay County Intergovernmental Committee. Commissioner Krabanoff reported on that well. I think we spent an awful lot of time talking about legislative priorities, and there was an awful lot of discussion from the school districts about mandates that involved a lot of what they do that really have an impact on them financially. And, so there was a request maybe that, from the part of the school districts that maybe we should try to come up with some sort of a meeting with all of us that also can maybe talk about some of the mandates that we have. And at that point in time, I mentioned to them how Clay County used to have a Saturday morning session with our local legislatures, and we'd bring in all of our county department heads. And this might be an opportunity to maybe to follow up with something like that and see if our legislatures could come, and not necessarily focus on everything that we want to see, but maybe the impacts of what mandates do to us, so that our legislatures are aware of the impacts of those mandates. So, and maybe we can work with Steve, and I know the school districts would be very interested in having that discussion with us. And we did go over the retreat agenda, and have you had an opportunity to reach out with Steve from Solutions regarding?
I have. We've invited him to participate.
Is he willing to do that?
I believe that he is.
Okay, I think that's really good. So, because one of the items that we're going to have on there is the significant conversations about the PRTF, and Steve was going to lead that panel, and on the panel was going to be Commissioner Mojo and myself, and Commissioner Mojo is really involved with the legislative process, and so so giving the report there. My side of it has been more of the building component of it, what we're doing in terms of design, and maybe we can show a few things in that design. Well, one of the things that we kind of felt was really important would be to have the programming component of it there, and how that programming can benefit these individuals. So I'm glad to hear that, and hopefully we can follow up and make sure that goes through. All right, and then yesterday we did have the meeting with the non-secure PRTF pre-design. That is moving along quite well. We're, compared to some early estimates that we were hearing, I think there's a little bit of encouragement in terms of the prices getting more in line. There's an awful lot of work to be done between now and the 15th, and a lot of that work's going to fall in the hands of our county administrator to prepare some documents that they're needing to be able to present in terms of a letter to the state. So I want to thank Steve in advance for the efforts that are going to be done to go, and whoever else is involved, providing all of that detail that's going to go into that. Then that same day as the intergovernmental retreat, I was requested on behalf of some attorneys for the landowners regarding the diversion project. As chair of the Moorhead-Clay County Joint Powers Board, we were invited to a meeting, myself along with the chair of the Cass County Joint Resource District, to meet with some county attorneys, or not county attorneys, but landowner attorneys. They had some concerns about how the negotiation process, and when they're negotiating items, do the negotiators actually have the authority to approve those negotiations? And basically what we said to them is that no, nothing is finalized. That requires the full, each board member has the ability to raise questions, and and I gave one example on the MCC JPA. There was one, and it's quite rare, but we had one of our commissioners that raised a question on one issue, and so that delayed that. But there didn't seem to be a concern on the part of anybody that it was delayed. But ultimately, every board member has that right to ask questions. We are the purse string for all of that money, and so we have to have that ability to raise questions. And we basically gave that message to those attorneys, and their concern was okay, well, they're going there on behalf of their attorneys and the negotiation process, and then they're concerned that okay, if they come to an agreement and then the board doesn't approve it. But I asked them to give me one example of where it wasn't approved on the Clay County MCC JPA, and there wasn't one. So, and basically what we said is we have full confidence in our legal team and lands people who are working on this, that when they bring something in a negotiated settlement before our board, we almost always have their back and the backing of what they've negotiated. Because they are following all the rules and regulations as a federal project and all of those things. So, and they were, after we had that meeting, as a matter of fact, before that meeting, I think they had said that they were pulling some of their negotiations until they got some answers. And they left there, I think, okay with what was done, and they started the process then to renegotiate. So, and I mentioned to them that and so did the chair of the Cass County Joint. We understand what all those landowners are giving up. They're the ones who are giving up an awful lot, and we need to be as fair as possible with those landowners. Also understanding that we are we're ultimately responsible for the taxpayer dollars. So it was a long meeting, but it was a good meeting. And then lastly, I just want to point out, I did bring my NDSU Bison jacket, and I would like to go in my locker just for a second and come back out here, and I'll explain. But just give me 30 seconds.
It's great. It's great. I feel like we should be playing Thunderstruck or something.
So for Bridger Mojo, I just want to point out to you that this year was the year of the Bison, national champions, and the bunnies were in Brookings. So that ends my report. Steve, do you have something?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the second, I participated in the intergovernmental retreat that has been previously discussed. That afternoon, that morning, I went over and went around, toured the new detox withdrawal management facility. As I shared, I think, in an email with each of you, as you recall, in our old facility, we had up to 16 beds. Most of the time, because of the population, we may have 10 to 12. On the second, we had 20 21 individuals in our detox facility. And so, again, unfortunate need, but glad that we were able to provide that service. On the second, I also met with Sheriff Empting on our issue that we had this morning and several other issues. On the third, I met with Joe. We're having a strategic planning meeting for the courthouse, continuing to work with court administration and also Department of Corrections on trying to have the best layout here at our courthouse. On the third, I met with Dan Molly and Derek LaPointe. We talked about legislative priorities, flood mitigation, border city legislation. Also talked about the resource recovery upcoming meeting that we'll be having. On the third, it was also participating in the PRTF legislative discussion that's been addressed. Yesterday, participated with Commissioner Krabanoff in tweaking our presentation for the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council, and also participated in the PRTF and non-secure detention meeting that's been addressed. Again, I would just say we have management tomorrow. I apologize for any confusion with the ordinance. We will have a discussion tomorrow about making sure from a communication standpoint from the county that everyone's clear as far as how that procedure should work. Just a note, next Tuesday, we'll also at 1 o'clock be having our quarterly EDC EDA meeting here at 1 p.m. And then lastly, you may have seen it on social media, but we are partnering with CAP-LP and Senior Transportation in providing shuttle services on Mondays from 8 a.m. till 11:30, and then 12:30 until 3:30 for transportation from the Walmart parking lot in Moorhead up to the DMV withdrawal management campuses or locations. And so we're pleased to have that partnership and working with us. And if that goes well, it sounds like they would be open to have additional discussions about other times that they can maybe provide that service. With that, I yield.
All right, thank you, Steve. Darren, do you have anything for us? Jackie? You do? You want to take a picture?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I just wanted to give a brief update on our website. We've added some information. The communications team is always looking at information that can be added to our website, since that is the main route that we communicate and provide information to community members and citizens. So if we go to the Board of Commissioners page, we have added a legislative priorities section, and once you click into that, we have the three legislative priorities that the board has approved for 2025 with the ability to expand and provide additional information and graphics. You'll see it's the same as our handouts. So we'll be able to update this whenever needed, or when we're going to be adopting and approving the legislative priorities for the following year. But just wanted to let you guys know that is available on our website. And if you're out and about talking to folks or people and you don't have the handouts on you, you can lead them to this website. So that is all.
Thank you. That looks good. And then lastly, I know tomorrow Commissioner Bear and I are meeting with West Central Initiative regarding some funding issues. Hopefully some planning dollars that will be going towards the West Central Regional Water Project. So. All right, seeing nothing else, we will be adjourned.